Well, welcome back to the Smith and Burke show. He's Smith and I'm Burke.
It's true.
So, today we're going to be talking about the beloved series The Office. What did that originally air on? Do you even know?
No, I assume it was it NBC? I don't have a clue.
I don't know either.
It's
I wasn't around, but
it's
I
on
watched.
streaming now. That's where
Yeah,
everybody watches it.
I watch it on Peacock now. I think.
I think they just came out with season 9 of the Superfan episodes.
I forgot they were doing that.
I've never seen any of them. I've only seen the originals. Someday I want to go back through and watch the Superfan ones, like on my next watch through. Especially now that all the seasons have it.
How many watch throughs are you on?
Only one.
Only one.
Only one.
But you finished though.
Yes.
So you're all done.
And I've seen other, who hasn't seen a million clips of it? If you put it together, all the clips that I've seen, you could tack on another half a watch through just based on that.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've seen it a whole lot more than I have. You're probably, 5 watch throughs?
So, confession. I have only watched it all the way through one time, but I have gotten up to season 4 probably like 6 or 7 times.
Honestly, that's the prime.
Yeah.
So it's understandable why you probably dropped off after that point on your rewatch through.
I did go back to season 8, I think, if that's the one with Robert California, where he comes in, and then Andy becomes. Sorry, no spoilers.
Because season 9 is the last season, right?
Yeah.
So, I think Robert would have been season 8 probably. Because it was right after Michael left.
Yeah, because I saw The Blacklist. It's a show on Netflix. And it's the same actor. And he was great in that. And I remembered him from The Office.
He's actually Ultron in
Avengers.
Age of Ultron, which that was the only thing I'd ever known him as. And then I heard his voice. And I realized that I didn't realize that. I'm sure he's in so many other things that we don't have any idea of. But
The Blacklist was really good. That really got me to become a fan. I don't even know his name. I should look that up.
What is his name? I knew it at one point, but I don't remember. I mean, he's just I know him as Robert California, the guy that.
And I really liked him in The Office. I really liked him in the Blacklist too. I'm not even gonna find it right away.
That's all right.
So going into The Office then.
Yeah. So we've both only seen it one time, technically all the way through, but you've seen it way more than I have. You started out showing me. When did you try to show me The Office for the first time?
I tried to show you the basketball game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we tried with the first episode ever. James Spader. That's his name. Sorry.
Yeah, so first, you showed me the basketball. Maybe you showed me the first memory I have of ever watching The Office was the basketball scene. Just not even that whole episode, just the scene of them playing basketball.
Yep.
Followed by Threat Level Midnight. Yes. That is how you showed me The Office. Yeah. Going from basketball to Threat Level Midnight.
You were a hater from the beginning.
I was, honestly. I feel like I wanted to hate it because everybody else loved it. It was one of those people.
No, I get it. And I mean, to be fair, the first episode, everybody will admit, the first season is just...
Which is like the first 6 episodes.
Yeah. It's just like, it's weird. It's uncomfortable.
And it's different from all the other seasons.
It's different from any other TV show.
Yeah.
It's like you're sitting in an office you're not supposed to be in. And everybody else feels the same way. Like the actors, they give you the same vibe. Like... Nobody belongs in any of the scenes that they're in.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird start.
Did you ever watch the British Office?
So I'm just going to basically be a total hypocrite and say I couldn't get through the first season.
Which is all the show was.
Yeah.
They got 1 season. We got 9. People still say the British one was better.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch it.
It's got... the guy from The Hobbit in it, right? He's the Jim equivalent.
Yep.
You more of a Jim fan or a Dwight fan?
That's a really good question. Obviously, Dwight.
I'm definitely more of a Jim guy, but I feel like Jim is a way easier character to root for. If there had to be if you're, you know, I mean, obviously, if you're picking a protagonist of the show, it's between Dwight, Jim, and Michael.
Mhm.
I would think you would agree with that. But in terms of the way their characters act, Jim definitely has the most main character esque vibes to his character. You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like he also has arguably some of the most development.
I was just gonna say I don't think he has very much development.
Really?
Yeah, I think you see Dwight become much more liked throughout the series. Like at first you just hate him,
Yeah.
and then like by the end of it, everybody loves Dwight.
I guess I see what you're saying. I was thinking more in the terms of like what the character goes through, not how much they change.
Okay.
You know, because I guess Dwight also got married and had a kid, but I just feel like that's what the show is like. That's like the main romance, you know, is
Hmm.
between Jim and
Yeah.
Pam, so you get to see a lot more of it. But I guess I see what you're saying, that it's really not that much. I can.
I feel like he doesn't gain more fans throughout the show. You know, like I feel like
Yeah.
Team Jim stays pretty much the same size and it's big.
Yeah.
But I
And
don't
same
think
with Michael after season
Yeah.
1. Like, if
Yeah.
you like some of Michael from season 2, you're gonna like him all the way till he leaves.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be excited when he comes back for that little
Yeah.
cameo at the end.
Yeah, not that we're spoiling anything for anyone.
Yeah.
But
Spoilers for The Office.
it's a great show. I mean, I will continue to watch it again and again and again and again and again. And it makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, there are some really funny jokes in that.
Let me ask you this. Who is the least likable Office character?
So
If you could control delete any of them, like from like the main
get rid of
cast.
one of them for
Yeah.
of this main cast.
Yeah. Or who do you just like who do you feel like you just see you could do with seeing less of?
Kelly. I mean, and I feel like that's the obvious choice. She was kind of invented to be a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And you have to sit there and listen to her and talk about Ryan. Otherwise,
I feel like I am a Kelly in some people's lives.
yeah. I mean, next after Kelly, in terms of people who just contribute the least, it's probably would be Kelly and then maybe Meredith. And like
Hmm.
Creed probably contributes the least, but also he's hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
you got to keep Creed
Yeah.
for just him.
I know. It's like if it's getting slow and then it's like a cut to Creed's interview, I like come back to life a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
what is this guy got to say?
You don't even know, he might not have even worked there ever.
Did you know he's a real person?
What do you mean?
Like, he doesn't have a fake name. Like, Creed is literally his name.
Oh, the actor's name is
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah.
Huh.
They use his entire full name. I think it's Creed Bratton.
Is he the only one that's like that?
Yeah, and he was in a rock band back in like the 60s.
That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, let me look this up.
So
Yeah, Creed Bratton.
Creed Bratton was the only character in The Office that kept his original name.
Yeah.
That is
And
interesting.
he was in this band called the Grassroots, and it was a rock band back in the 60s. 1969, so he left. Creed Bratton left the Grassroots.
And then he went and started working for Dunder Mifflin and never looked back, I guess.
It is really interesting because it doesn't really give. Okay, it gives you like a fourth wall breach, but in a really like unique way.
Yeah, and
Like
he just seems like the guy that they rented out this building for the set, and he was just already there, and they just kept him in. And I know that's what they were going for. I'm just saying they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So you are a Dwight fan. What if you had to list your top 3 characters that are not Michael, Jim, or Dwight? Who would you pick? Anyone. It could be somebody who's been only was there for an episode. I think you've got to put Robert California there.
He's up there.
Maybe he's not top 3, but who was the first person that came into your mind when I said that? Obviously, no one.
Yeah,
You're drawing a blank.
nobody really came to mind. I'm not gonna lie, I was still kind of like I was zoned out a little bit. I was reading a little bit about Creed here because this is really interesting, and we'll come back to this.
Okay.
But going back to Creed real quick, it just says that, and I found this interesting. It says the only reason he ended up on the show, period, is he was an extra during the first season's Diversity Day, and he improvised himself into a speaking role, and he just ended up impressing the producers, so they wrote him in after that. So
Wow.
he wasn't even originally casted; he was just an extra. And it says here, uh, yeah, by initially being a background extra who improvised his way into a speaking part during the first season's Diversity Day, impressing producers with unique ad libs, which led to his character being developed as an exaggerated version of his real life mysterious rock and roll past.
That's really crazy, actually. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I do remember now that you say that. The first season definitely had
Like,
they didn't have the background characters fully like
yeah.
solidified as to who was who, and so if you go back and view the first season, there's just random people around the
Yeah.
office that you never see again.
And they get downsized. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, they get
Yeah.
downsized, so they have a reason for it, I suppose.
It's kind of unique, though, to use the pilot for your show as the casting call, you know? It's like, who do we want to keep? Like,
Yeah, but I'm sure they kind of knew from the beginning,
yeah.
but yeah, a little bit like with Creed, I guess they found somebody they didn't know they needed.
That makes him so much better, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's the most Creed thing you could do.
I agree.
Just to just weasel your way onto the show like that.
And he kind of like carries that chip on his shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, he definitely gives that vibe.
All right, anyway, sorry. What was your question?
So, not Michael, Jim, or Dwight. Top 3 characters.
Top 3 that's not Michael, Jim, or Dwight. Honestly, I like Andy.
Into the whole way through?
The whole way. Okay, I didn't like him in the beginning.
But you liked him at the end?
I liked him at the end.
I thought they... I'm not in the minority to say that I think they ruined his character at the end.
I know, a lot of people feel that way.
And they kind of just... They just shoved him onto a boat for 9 months because I think he had to go film The Hangover.
Yeah.
So they had to do that. But yeah, and you didn't like him in the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't like. Well, I thought he was just annoying. He reminded me of that, and I mean, that was his role too. He just reminded me of those coworkers that just they take up a lot of space, like with their personality. Like you're just there to do work, and then here's this guy just trying to be your friend, but you know that you have absolutely nothing in common with him at all, and he's just trying to become your work friend, and like you're just like, oh, you're a lonely person outside of work, aren't you? Anyways, but yeah, so he was relatable and experienced, I guess, to that way, like where you connect with Jim. But as he like came to the office, and I don't know, his acting is just really animated, and that always brought a lot of I always got a lot of attention to that, and I like how dumb he is. Like he's clearly one of the dumber people on the show.
Right.
But I don't know. It just cracks me up. Okay, so I would pick him. I would pick Kevin. And number 3, maybe Ryan. No, not Ryan.
I was gonna say Ryan's a choice.
Ryan's funny, but not. I don't think I think Gabe's funnier than Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Gabe as a character. He was.
He had some good. Yeah, he had some good moments. That's tough though. That's a tough one. Robert California too is just like you can't neglect that. Who would you pick? Like who were you
Well,
thinking?
I don't have the list in front of me, but I mean, I think I would put Robert in the top 3, and I would agree with Andy as well, but I didn't like him towards the end, so that would be what would be a little like, if you're talking season, he came in season 2 or 3, and then to season 6 or 7, definitely he would be there. Honestly, I might like Stanley more than Kevin.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fair.
like in terms of they kind of have similar roles in the show in terms of what they do and what they provide, but I don't know. There's just something about Stanley that I like Stanley a lot. Have you seen the blooper from when they're sitting in their meeting and Michael's giving some sort of speech and they're talking about diabetes and he's like, "How do you know I have diabetes?" And then I don't remember what he says, but he gets Stanley to stand up. And Michael just says, "See, just the noise you made when you stood up," and everybody in the room just started dying laughing. I don't know if I don't believe that quote was in the original show.
Yeah,
but I've seen that as a blooper. It's pretty funny. But
I do remember that. Like you tell by the noise you. Uh,
Yeah, I could tell by the noise you made when you stood up right there.
so I'm on IMDb right now looking at the cast, and it's telling me that Aaron Rodgers was in the show twice. He had
Was he
two.
as himself?
Yeah, I don't
Was he?
remember him.
Was he? Well, they had. I know when they did the interviews for the replacements for Michael, they had a lot of famous people pop in
Oh,
for that. I don't know if he was one of them.
could
Bill
be.
Gates might have been one of them. And, but they had a lot of people there. But I don't remember. I think they had towards the end, they had a lot of celebrity cameos because the show was so popular that everybody
Right.
wanted to pop on the show for a little bit.
I remember Josh Groban coming on, being Andy's brother.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. Yeah, they're. You're right. They did have some. They did have some pretty crazy.
Pretty memorable.
Yeah, yeah. I would say I think the best seasons are from season 3 to season 7,
In season 3,
and that's broad.
that season 3 is when uh Andy shows up, right? That's when Jim
Jim
temporarily
leaves. Yeah,
leaves.
I think so. I'm pretty sure season 3, or does Ryan become the CEO in season 2?
I don't believe it was that early on.
It could be.
We should have rewatched it before we went on to
Yeah.
do this.
That's a good. That's
S-
a good segment though. When he leaves and becomes
yeah,
he grows his beard out.
yeah, the CEO beard. It's funny because he actually was he was semi competent then,
Yeah.
and then he goes back. He goes starts selling bowling shoes. I think at a bowling alley.
And then something we haven't even talked about is, and I don't know if it's just because neither one of us really had too much interest in it, but it's a huge part of the show is the Jim and Pam plot. Um,
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the romance
I
plot for
know.
sure.
It's so interesting how that changes too, and I think that they were actually going to get them divorced at one point. Like,
Really?
yeah, I think it's like, oh, it's one of the later seasons. They start fighting, and
Well,
you
they had
really
the
start to hate both of them.
yeah, well, because towards the end, yeah, I feel like because they had everything for them was just going so well that they
Yeah,
just felt like they had to create drama because they had the
yeah,
cameraman. They thought that like you thought was gonna be like some crush for Pam,
right.
and I think they realized pretty quick that people did not want that, so they kind of wrote him out
Isn't
pretty
that
quick.
how do you know that when you're producing a show?
I mean, I assume they have test audiences,
Maybe.
but he definitely kind of comes in like he's going to be more important, then he leaves pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then you had uh, Kathy trying to get with Jim, and so
Oh,
you had
yeah.
that whole episode in the hotel room where they're trying to make you think. Well, I don't think they ever try to make you think that Jim's going to cheat on Pam, but they let you know that Kathy wants to,
Right.
So it's just things like that. I feel like they tried to stir up drama where it didn't need to be stirred up, and I think that made a lot of people unhappy
Yeah. It definitely seemed like that's one of the weaker portions of the series.
because you already had Dwight and Angela as being this couple that had all these problems, and that
Hmm.
at the end they got together, which you liked, but they had enough problems for the both of them. They didn't need to have it with everybody, and then Michael had all his relationship problems. They could have at least just had they should have just had one couple that was
But that's life though,
yeah
just problems.
yeah.
So maybe that was the reason why.
We haven't talked a lot about Michael.
I know. Well, yeah, it's true. I mean,
There's
there's so many different things you can talk about with this show. Michael, I don't know. What's your opinion on Michael? What's the best? What's Michael's best era?
Michael's, but not season one.
Not season one.
I would say seasons like 2 and 3, like the best parts of this 2, 3, and maybe 4. I think as towards the end, as he was getting out, he's maybe getting a little too over the top.
Hmm.
Um, but I really didn't have a problem with Michael the whole way through. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to. I mean, like I said, he's rough the first season, and then after that, he's great the whole way through.
I don't think that show could have been nearly as successful if Steve Carell did not play Michael
Oh,
Scott.
for sure. Well, that goes to show after he left.
Yeah, that's
Like,
very true.
I really liked the little chunk that we got with Michael and Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
D'Angelo Vickers. Like they worked really well together, and I think I wish they could have just drug that little bit out just a little
Yeah,
bit
that's
longer,
true.
because it was just a couple episodes, and I really enjoyed those.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Michael's. I don't think that I see any other character in The Office in my life more, like in my real life, than I
Mhm.
see Michael. Like, I will be like, obviously you know I have worked a various number of jobs, and I will tell you there's probably been a Michael or two at every single one of those jobs I've ever had.
Right.
Like, it's different aspects, but it's there. And
There's a section of Michael that's in everyone.
yes. And sometimes some like I'll see Michael in my family. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's just such a relatable character. Like not that I relate to being Michael, but I relate to experiencing Michael
You
Scott.
experience Michaels everywhere.
I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the genius of Steve Carell.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, there's just I don't really have anything to add on that. I want to, but I don't. You know, he's just such a well-written character,
Yeah.
and then Steve
Well played
Carell
too.
took that and just amplified it to the next level.
Yeah.
I wasn't really I didn't really like the dynamic he had with what's her name?
Holly.
Yeah, Holly.
Holly.
I mean, because they were kind of just decided, like, they just took Michael and they said, let's make a female Michael.
It felt forced.
And it made it feel forced. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had, so who was his girlfriend that she was she was crazy?
Jan.
Jan, yeah. See, that was interesting because
Yeah.
they were different.
Yeah, and
You
she
know,
was his boss.
and she was his boss,
Yeah.
and she was crazy in her own different way.
Yeah.
And you didn't at first she didn't seem crazy, and then
Yeah.
the crazy started leaching its way out. That was interesting. Whereas
I agree.
Holly shows up, Holly's like, or Michael's like, it's me, but a girl, and then they get together, and then they break up, but then they get back together. I don't know. I think they could have done something a little more interesting with his romantic life. Like, I get that he was not a ladies' man, but I feel like he could have also found somebody that just wasn't himself.
Right. Well, he did date Pam's mom for a little bit.
That's true. See, that is true. Pam was a fan of that one. I remember.
I think, like with Michael, he doesn't like he. I don't know how, but like, and you really see it when he leaves. Michael never gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never get bored of Michael, but once Michael left, you kind of start to get bored of the other characters,
Right.
and I don't know why that is.
There was something about Michael that definitely he made the show for sure.
I think it's okay. So like, I think you can relate to it. Like anybody can relate to him because he's a manager, but he also is horrible at dealing with confrontation,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like no manager wants to be the bad guy, but they all have to be at some point.
Right.
You know, that's their job, and
He has trouble with that for sure.
yeah, and I think that's really relatable for a lot of people. It's like you don't want to have to bear this bad news, but here's the bad news.
I really liked the plot line where Michael and Jim were co-managers.
Oh yeah,
Like in terms of you're talking about the good of Dunder Mifflin and the company, that was the best move they ever could have done. Like is have, because Jim was, he was your textbook manager material.
yeah,
And I know that was later on in the show, but I like the memories of like those episodes. Those are some of my favorite episodes, is when that little extra office was built in there. And then didn't what's his name have it for a while?
Andy,
No, the guy from the warehouse, Daryl. Yeah, he had that for a while too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because what I don't remember why he had it. Was he
got
just
some
warehouse
sort of
manager?
promotion.
Yeah, he had some sort of promotion. He had a good idea, I think, for like how they were packing and sending stuff out. But yeah, I just for the time that extra office was there, I like those episodes.
Yeah. It is something about him like learning Chinese, and he was like, they will teach me Chinese, or I don't remember. He's like, he goes, and sometime and someday I will say it in Chinese. I don't remember, but it was, yeah, it had something to do with him going to school,
Hmm.
so they were gonna pay him for that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they had different kind of eras of the office. You know,
Mhm.
you had the two co-managers. Like they kept making things interesting with the co-managers, and you had the Sable thing. You
Yeah.
had then they tried to do the Sable thing all over again with the British lady.
Oh yeah.
I forget what that whole deal was, but I didn't like that was towards the end. That was season 8 or 9 with her,
Yeah.
and I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah.
They had like the triangle. Was that still Sable? And they had like the little triangle tablet looking things.
I
That
don't.
might have still been Sable, but she was just running the branch at that point.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it just wasn't great. Like, she wasn't the worst. I think I liked the British lady more than I liked the Southern lady.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But at least the Southern lady wasn't there for very long. Like, she wasn't there very often, and then she had Gabe with her. You know,
Yeah,
she
that's
brought
she
Gabe.
did bring Gabe.
Do you have in your head? Do you have like a least favorite episode or least favorite era?
Probably the era where like I said, like where Jim and Pam are fighting. It just seemed unnecessary and unfinished.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of pulled out of it really quick. It didn't really go anywhere, and it just kind of like caused me a lot of like confusion for no reason. It's just kind of wasted.
What do you think about the controversial I don't think it's controversial, just people cringe at it. Scott's Tots episode? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
I thought that was funny.
I thought it was funny too.
Yeah.
See, I think the internet has a huge problem with it, like the cringe factor of it. They're like, I always see posts and memes and things, you know, about rewatch when you rewatch The Office, you always skip Scott's Tots because it's
Huh.
just, I assume because of the cringe of that whole episode, but it's very universally unliked. So
Yeah,
it's interesting that
interesting.
neither one of us. I mean, I thought it wasn't my favorite episode or by any means, but I thought it was I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was a very Michael thing to
I
do.
thought it was creative.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
that's something about this show too. Is I'm like, I like the development because it makes it so relatable. I remember I was working at Culver's, and I worked there for like 3-4 years in high school
Hmm.
and beyond. And I would bring that up to my managers. I'm like, it feels like because the turnover rate there is relatively high because it's like a high school job. But then you have the people that like run the store, and
Right.
they're more staples. And we would all talk like, well, I would tell them like this feels like a TV show because you have different seasons where different cast members come and go, and then it's like so and so's brother works here now,
Right.
and now they're gone, and it just brings all these characters in and out.
This is my cousin. He's staying with us for 2 months. He's gonna come
Literally,
work at Culver.
literally, like, and you have the randomest, like this is just any job, but you have the randomest people show up to like work there
Hmm.
because they're such and their backstory seems unbelievable. You're like, who, like you were just in prison, like, or your baby mama just went to prison, like you don't know.
Right.
And like all these people that just show up to work this job at this paper company that come and go, and I that's my favorite thing about it is how an actor will leave and then come back
Hmm.
because that's so life.
Yeah, like when who was the original? Was he might have been not he maybe wasn't the CEO, but he was up there. He might like CFO or something, but he was he
Dan
came
Wallace,
yeah, he
Dave
came back
Wallace,
Dave Wallace, yeah,
yeah,
because he was there and then he came back and that was pretty cool. And
yeah,
apparently he actually I think he quit acting altogether after The
wow,
Office. And so then they had to he hadn't acted in anything. I don't know if The Office was like the last thing he acted in, but he quit shortly after he was out he became out of The Office. But then when he came back, that was his they had to like convince him to come back to act to do that.
really.
Yeah. I don't know much more on top of that. I just know that he wasn't an actor when he came back.
I am amazed at uh how well known the show is.
Hmm.
It's so simple. Like it really inspires me to just see how creative you can get with a show about a paper company.
Right. And I don't think it was the first to do like I think they call it like mockumentary now.
Oh, okay.
That's like the genre. I don't think it was the first of that kind where they kind of, do like the interviews and things like that,
Yeah,
but it definitely popularized it. I don't
absolutely.
know what the first was, but there's so many of them now, there
Yeah.
was a lot that came out as The Office was going on, yeah, I think Parks and
Parks
Rec,
and Rec is the first that came out.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Modern Family.
I mean, that was kind of, I guess that was really the same style, just it wasn't at a job, but it
Yeah.
was the same style. It was very similar.
They broke the fourth wall a lot more because it was like they were recording them
Right.
at work,
Yeah.
which is such an interesting level to the plot. Like it's like they're just this is just part of my job. There's
Right.
just these cameras here,
And the
and they're
fact,
all aware of them at all times.
right, the fact that you sit down for dozens of hours and just watch these people work. Like, I know there's more to it than that, but that's what the concept is, and
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
yeah.
Superstore is another one.
Oh yeah,
You can think about it now. There's one of those for everything now.
pretty much. I mean, it was just so popular, and they're all decent. Like, I mean, I don't anything you just mentioned, nothing like I hate, but a lot of that is it's just a good formula. It works. People
Right.
want to see it. But I mean, even though like they're trying to make it more like specific, like with Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Superstore, like to like specific careers, The Office is so genius because it's about a paper company.
Right, there's nothing interesting
Yeah,
about the job itself.
and
Whereas Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's people watch cop shows all the time. I know it's not a cop
yeah,
show, but there's more interest to that.
yeah.
Whereas it is literally like they thought. I guarantee you, they just sat down and like, what's the most boring job we can think of? It's like working at a company that sells reams of
And
paper.
how many people do you think actually like have that job? Like it's a small minority versus
Right,
like Superstore, where
right.
it's like there's a lot of people that work at many different department stores. Like, and so, but to still make The Office, even though it's about paper, so relatable to every
Can
other
printers.
and produce about every other like profession out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, white collar can relate, blue collar can relate. I
Yeah, you got the
love that.
warehouse in there.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
how many people do you think when they're doing the tour of their company ask if they can use the baler? Just because of that show.
I just had a thought. I don't know why this scene popped into my head when they're in the warehouse and they're trying to lose weight as a company, and they're all sitting on the scale, and Pam's like, "Wait, you guys forgot me," and so she hops on the scale, and everybody just turns and reads the number and try to do their math in their head. It's funny because when you're watching the show, you did the same thing, and you just see all the people turn do the exact same thing that you were just doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think we're gonna call it. I mean, we can always come back to this topic
Oh yeah,
later
you can
too.
talk about this forever. You can break down season by season and have tons and tons of content to go over.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're gonna call it here. Thanks everybody for tuning in again. We appreciate you supporting the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. We really appreciate that. Like to see that number go up. It's been going up ever since we started, so that's a good thing.
Be sure to drop a comment if there's anything you want to hear us talk about.
Yeah, and give us your opinion, like who your favorite Office characters were, favorite moments from The Office. I'd love to read them. It's just one of those shows we've all seen and we can all connect to about. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you next time.